wish I could move from one book to the other all day. And that's not exactly how life works, right? So if you would like to find out what I read, and this is like a quick review of what I read in 2026 so far, and if that's something that interests you, you might want to stick around. What's up, everyone? This is Priya here. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning. And if this is the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. Here I share tips, ideas, and inspiration to make your planner and journal spreads pretty and functional. This is my current reading journal, my current setup, and as you can see, it is getting chunkier. And let me just move that aside because I had kept it so that I can have the cover show up without any glare. And this is where we started in 2026. And we have a long way to go, and I should be pretty much done with this by the end of the year. And stay tuned to help me pick my 2027 reading journal, which will be coming up at the end. And as you can see, I have a lot of my supplies, some of the ones I had picked up earlier, including these alphas, some stamps, some washi tapes, and I have all my notes handy. And let's complete this books read graph. I have to be very genuine, very honest here. It was not great. I have not been reading as much as I would love to. But let's go ahead and fill some of the series tracker elements that I have ready. And I had everything penciled in so that I can just come and write it or write over it. And check out my initial setup in the playlist. I have my entire reading journal setups all done for you. And I'm continuing to fill up some of the Reese's Club book picks. And it's quite interesting, and that just gives me a good place to start when I pick elements and I'm moving on to what I read from 2025 onto the A to Z challenge. And there are a lot of alphabets with nothing filled in as yet. The top 5, I will get to them later. And now I have a few new authors that I read books from. Some were from some podcasts I listened, and some was very interestingly, especially that Orhan Pamuk one, that was from a book recommendation by my state's chief minister, who is like a voracious reader. So that's nice. Otherwise, I would not have picked any of those books. Onto the release radar. And if you do not know, I have I'm a big fan of Frida McFadden, so I have a couple of her books coming out this year, and I'm on to the books read. And I've used a mix of elements from Washi Tape Shop, Notebook Therapy, and some of the pens and some journal say elements. And I do have discount codes for a lot of shops, I must say. And I will have all that information in the description for you. So after that, let's get to this section where I come and put all my titles, the book titles, in one place. And I have a quick video on how you can print your book covers. I'll have that video linked for you. And it's very straightforward, very simple. I've done the titles on my HP Sprocket, which I have a video of. And now I did it on Canva. So now let's get to our books. And I'm starting with these set of alphas from Journal Say, and I'm going to pick the March title. And if you notice, I have gone ahead and pasted the book titles already so that we'll have a good place to start. And I'm trying to just match the colors we already have going on with the book titles. And also, I think I will pick elements to go on the page which kind of match with the theme of the books. So let's get started. And don't worry, I will have all the elements picked and linked for you, because you can get pretty lost if you go shopping at Journal Say or the washi tape shop. And this white washi was from, I believe, The Secret Garden was the title of the collection. And I really love those dreamy aesthetics, so I went and picked the full set from Notebook Therapy. I'm not an affiliate, but I love when I can use Erin from Erin Smith, and I do watch a lot of her reading journal setups. She's quite inspiring. And let's now go ahead and use our stamp for the star rating, and I'm going ahead with all the pages just so that we'll be done with it in one go. And I'm going all the way to the end, which will be end of July when I'll be filming this. So I'm going to use my Writec pen to fill the stars, because Goodreads is where I normally come and give my reviews, and that is a place where I give my reviews and my rating right away. So if you want to come follow me there and join my journey, that would be really great. And I'm using this golden washi tape that was from MT Tapes or something. I don't quite remember. I'll try and link everything to the best of my ability. And this was the first book I read, and that was the Reese's Book Club pick from early this year. So it is the second book in the sequel, which was kind of weird because I had not read the first one. I just went with this book because it was the Reese's Book Club pick, and maybe I should have read the first book, so I'll try and get hold of it on Libby or somewhere. So the story takes place in the present with Hannah and Bailey on the run, but also in the past. It explains how Nicholas got involved with the group and his interesting friendship with the ringleader Frank. Again, the story goes in unexpected ways. While sometimes with certain mysteries, you want the present day story to keep moving forward, but I think in this case, we really needed the backstory for Nicholas. I appreciate that the author has provided more context and depth. It really helped me make the overall narrative much stronger. So I think it was a 3.3, 3.4. So that's why I gave it close to 3.5 stars in the rating there. And I'm using a mix of washi tape elements from the washi tape shop. Some of the doors and all that were from the washi tape shop, while the paper, the pattern paper, was from Journal Say. And on to the next book, which is The Wife Upstairs. So the book, just like with all Freda McFadden books, at least for me, it just grabs you right away and keeps you going. Love the sudden turns and the big reveal at the end. Victoria's hurt in an accident and trapped upstairs, unable to speak or move well. Sylvia takes a job to help care for Victoria. Sylvia finds a hidden diary that tells a dark story about Victoria's husband. Chapters flip between Sylvia now and the diary from the past. So plot twist midway through the book, and Victoria is the true villain and not Adam, the husband. Then Freda attempted to prove me right, but then twisted it to prove me wrong. I like those twists. And this is going to be how we fill some of the area in here, and I'm not going to fill all the white space left. And this is the next book I read, which was Gone Before Goodbye, and this was co-authored by Reese Witherspoon herself. So it's a fast-paced thriller about a disgraced combat surgeon dragged into a high-stakes conspiracy. Love the cinematic full cast audiobook and the relentless pacing, but not quite a fan of the far-fetched plot points and uneven character depth. Maggie McCabe is teetering on the brink. A highly skilled and renowned army combat surgeon, she has always lived life at the edge, where she could make the most impact, and it was all going to plan until it wasn't. Upside down after a devastating series of tragedies leads her to her medical license being revoked, Maggie lost her purpose, but not her nerve or her passion. At her lowest point, she is thrown a lifeline by a former colleague, an elite plastic surgeon whose anonymous clientele demand the best care money can buy, as well as absolute discretion. So this is where I really loved it, and I'm giving it an almost 4 stars, so it was more like a 3.8. And I used a lot of supplies from the washi tape shop. The lace ones are all from the washi tape shop, and some elements from Notebook Therapy and Journal Say. On to the next book, which is The Things We Leave Unfinished. And this was from Rebecca Yarros. You remember the author of The Fourth Wing and The Iron Flame. I'm sure this was, if you have read this book, you will be surprised at how different it is. And this is like a beautiful, heart-wrenching story that switches between 2 timelines, a modern-day romance and a World War II love story. So you can see how I brought in some of those romantic touches and all that in here. And I love that nevertheless. On to April, where, can you guess how many books I read? 0, yes. And I decided to just give that page a quote and call it a day and do some decorations, because I did not want to quite skip the page entirely. So I'm giving it a title page with a quote and some decorations. And I'm using one of the Pilot brush pens, and I love how it gives that slim font. I love how this writes. So I just picked a quote that I saw and what made sense, because if you've been following me for some time, you know what was happening in my neck of the woods. So I just went ahead and picked a quote that would go with what was going on. So because of all that was happening, I was not here at all. I was traveling the entire month, and I don't think it made sense for me to push myself to read a lot when I was like trying to navigate between a whole set of things in my real life. So I'm trying to, if you have not figured, I'm trying to cut the tape in half, but then the tape, once I pulled it out, was just refusing to go back in its place. So I'm trying to just put the tape, it's not entirely cut midway through, but I think it'll do. And I'm picking a solid, bold font for this, and this was from one of the Planny Things sticker books, and I think something relaxing, something that represents the house and my family and all that would be good. So I picked the colors to go with it, and I will also bring in some birds if I can. And these are all pre-cut washi tape, so just peel and stick. It's as easy as that. And I'm just going with some very simple strips with some decorations, but very minimal, and trying to balance some of the colors we already have going on, and finishing off the page with that bow. And that should be the title page for April, and we should be done. And let me know if you do something like this for the months you kind of got busy and never got around to reading anything. Would you do that, or would you just leave it or skip it entirely? And let's throw in some decorations as well. So here I am coming back the next day because life happens, not a big deal. And for this month, which would be May, I'm going to use some of these frames, and these are the rainbow frames from Live Love Posh, and I'm trying to kind of bring in those yellows and pinks because our book titles have those colors in them, and I'm using a different font, a bit more of a playful kind of font. And I'm going to also bring in some hot air balloons because it's like a happy place, people going on vacation, and there are 2 books in here, that's all, but at least it's better than 0. And I'm also trying to bring in some pink to balance it off, balance the colors I mean. And I think I'll also bring in this lace washi, yeah, just so that it can sit on top of that. And this will be where I'll be using to kind of balance some of those colors, and I'm using the same lace washi for the top part as well and keeping it as is. And I'm going with repositioning some of those frames because it would look really wonky if it is like off-centered. It's fine, it's not the end of the world, but let's see. We will bring in some windows, some flowers, and this is another new washi tape, the pre-cut one. The Magnolia Blossom is the name. And I'm using my gyro cut to kind of trim off the excess or going off the page, using the scraps, all that usual decorative fun stuff that we love to use. And we have some of those petals flying around. And we will also now come and see what I can use here, because we are moving to the 3 Lives of Kate K. And I think I'll bring in another one of those hot air balloons. And with just very limited space available, and just be mindful of what you're cutting because you don't want to cut off the bookmarks, which yes, it has happened to me before, so take it easy. Make sure the bookmark is out of the way. And I'm using some washi tapes from Live Love Posh. And you saw how I store some of my washi tapes. And I'm also bringing in some of these lace washi. And if you're ever wondering how I store all my stationery, which is just overflowing, please check out my craft room tour. I have lots of organization ideas that I have shared. And now let's bring in some other elements, which I think is fine. It's okay. And let's get to the next book, which is The Happy Place by Emily Henry. And I'm going with a 3.7, 3.8 rating for this book. So the crackling banter and emotional payoff between estranged exes Harriet and Wing is a highlight, who both fake being together for a final vacation with friends. Harriet and Wynne have been the perfect couple since they met in college, except now, for reasons they still are not discussing. They don't. They broke up about 5 months ago and still haven't told even their friends, which is how they find themselves sharing a bedroom at the main cottage that had been their friend group's yearly getaway for the last decade. So their annual respite from the world, where for one vibrant, blissful week they leave behind their daily lives, have copious amounts of cheese, wine, and seafood, and soak up the salty coastal air with the people who understand them most. So after years of being in love, how hard can it be to fake it for 1 week in front of those who knows you best, right? So that's kind of the storyline. On to the next month, which is June. And this will be the title page, and we have only one book, The Academy by Ellen Hildebrand, which she has wrote with her daughter, Shelby Cunningham. And I'm going to bring in some of the fall back to school kind of vibes here. So going with some birds as well, because balancing the colors is easiest done with that. And this is where things slow down again, because I'd been traveling. So things do look different when I'm traveling, and I don't have much time at all. And when you travel, you know how life or the days leading up to the trip gets busy, because I have to have all my videos up and ready to go, and I need to have everything scheduled, because there could be releases, there could be video drops, there are other commitments. So all of that happens, and things do get really busy. So we do have some foil action happening. So I'm throwing in some of the green from here, and I think that looks very different, but that looks fun. So on to the Academy, which is like a mashup of Gossip Girl and Mean Girls. It's a New England prep school. That's a backdrop, and it provides a fun, atmospheric ecosystem. It's moving day at Tiffin Academy, and amidst the happy chaos of friends reuniting, selfies uploading, and cars unloading, shocking news. America Today just ranked Tiffin the #2 boarding school in the country. It's a sweet 17-spot jump. Was there a typo? As if high school wasn't dramatic enough, as the year unfolds, bonds are forged and broken, secrets are shared and exposed, and the lives of Tiffin's students and staff are changed forever. The Academy is Ellen Hildebrand's fresh, buzzy take on boarding school life, and a thrilling new direction from one of America's most satisfying and popular storytellers. So I brought in some funky vibes and some academia kind of look to here. And that was really a very different setup. And these girls, I think, are just perfect. And they're also from the washi tape shop. Just throwing in some of those filler elements as well. And I think that was nice and simple. On to the month of July. And I have read 2 books. Another book from Ellen Hildebrand, plus the Orhan Pamuk book that I was saying. So both of these books were very different from each other. One was totally fun, like a summer read, and the Orhan Pamuk one was a peek into Istanbul, Turkey, from a few decades ago. So that was very interesting. So I thought I will come and pick some summary themes and some sea kind of look, because we do have Istanbul sitting there. So as you can see, I'm mixing in the alphabets also. And all of these alphabets are just single pieces of each alphabet in one pack. So if you want to have a good use of them, pick multiple packs. That's my trick. And they do sell out quite quickly, from journals say, because these are really popular, and for no reason, right? Look at those alphabets. And I'm bringing in some summery elements, some beach elements, and some of the traditional elements from that lantern, and that's all I wanted to do. So we are going to the Istanbul, the memories and the city, and I'm going with Some very simple washi tapes. Deeply atmospheric, melancholic masterpiece that doubles as a personal memoir and a lyrical biography of the city. So, Pamuk's exploration of Huzun, a pervasive communal melancholy that comes from living amongst the fading grandeur and ruins of the lost Ottoman Empire. He seamlessly blends his own coming of age story, family dynamics, and the artistic awakening within the history, architecture, and grey toned streets of the city. Pamuk's prose paints vivid cinematic pictures of decrepit Bosphorus mansions, misty alleyways, and fading black and white vistas. On to the next book, which is The Summer of '69, where a rich, nostalgic family drama earning Hildebrand high marks for weaving historical events into a signature beat style read. In 1969, and for the Levin family, the times are a changing. Every year, the children have looked forward to spending the summer at their grandmother's historical town in downtown Nantucket. But like so much else in America, nothing is the same. That's how it starts, and I've given it a 3.3 rating. And here I'm coming and finishing off the month of May with some more decorations. And let me know what you think. And please find all the products that I've used linked in the description. And please check out the other videos I mentioned. And please stay tuned for the journals I have shortlisted for my 2027 reading journal, and let me know what your thoughts are. If you liked today's video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share this with anybody who may have ideas they're looking for their own reading journal. So this is a letter size vintage library in the lavender color, my favorite color. And this is the biggest that I have shortlisted, and I've been wanting to try the letter sized one for so long. And next, I'm going with a vintage, again, it's a library themed one. It is the Vintage Library, Books of Beauty, sorry, at 8 by 8, all 160 GSM paper. On to the next one, which is the Dragon Spire. Nice, beautiful, pretty lavender color, a darker lavender with some foil action. I'm seriously leaning towards that one. And the last one is this heirloom tree. And this is another square one again. Let me know which one I should go with. Please let me know in the comments. And if you'd like to see such creative ideas to try for your planners or journals, please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button. So that is option number 1, the letter sized one, all 160 pages, 160 GSM, Archer and Olive, fine quality, exquisite quality journals. And thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.